How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the post-game edition of Wilde's Mailbox here on ESPNWisconsin.com, taking your questions. As always, via Twitter. We do it during the week, although it was replaced this week by the Mike McCarthy Q&A. It'll be back next week. But we take your questions there, answer them here, both in written form and, in this instance, in video form. Question comes from Rodney, who asks, after the Packers' 31-24 victory over the New York Jets today at Lambeau Field, are you rethinking your prediction for the Packers in preseason? I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, and I have to be honest, as I sit and write my game story from this game, I have a little bit of negativity in me. You know, Mike McCarthy in our Q&A, which you can read at ESPNWisconsin.com, talked about how his frustration with the media is a lot of times it's a negative intent, and even positive guys, which I like to think of myself as a positive guy, tend to go negative sometimes in competition with their fellow writers, whatever it may be. But I can't leave here with completely fuzzy, happy feelings for the Green Bay Packers and how they're playing right now. Their defense struggles early. They rally. They come up with the plays they need. They get the stops they need. They get the ball to the offense, which comes through with some big plays. Jordy Nelson has an enormous game, but I'm looking at the defense and I'm wondering, is their 4-3 hybrid that they're running now between the 4-3 and the 3-4, is it going to find its footing? Are they going to be able to use more personnel? That's something Mike McCarthy talked about being very important defensively, but for the second straight week, they've had trouble getting subs onto the field to change their personnel. Offensively, Aaron Rodgers has targeted Jordy Nelson 30 times in 2 weeks, and according to ESPN Stats and Information, it's the first time in Aaron Rodgers' time as a starter that he's targeted one guy 16 times in the same game. That was Jordy Nelson today, who again had a huge game, took advantage of some of the one-on-one matchups he had the 80-yard touchdown, etc. But what is this offense without Jordy Nelson right now? There's some real questions. They didn't run the ball very well again. The Jets very focused on stopping Eddie Lacy. He ends up with another 30-yard game. Again, I just think that right now, while they're 1-1 and they should feel good about that, they were perilously close to 0-2 and going into 2 road games against division rivals at Detroit this coming week, then at Chicago the following week. Mike McCarthy said that they improved today, and they did. But how much more improvement is in front of them? There better be a lot if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. They've got their work cut out for them. But again, they are 1-1. They're not 0-2. And so there's a lot of season left, 14 games. This team is going to be better at the end of the year than it is at the beginning of the year. But we're going to see how much better they end up being. That's Wilde's Mailbox post-game edition for this, the Packers' 31-24 victory over the Jets. We'll be back with the regular Wilde's Mailbox later in the week. We'll always do the video after the games, and we'll see you next time.